Welcome back to the OG Gambling Syndicate. I am smiling because gambling is going to be legal here now in less than a month, March 11th. Also, we started our golf picks last week, and Josh Goodson, RTP Mortgage, he is just as good with his mortgage work as he is with his first round leader picks, because last week on this podcast, you gave us 12 million for the first round leader bets. And I said, you put $25 on these. That's a $300 outlay. But Nick Taylor comes home, shoots a 61 in the opening round, or 60 in the opening round, and 61 in the opening round. And that's a net of plus 2,200 on a $25 bet. Yeah. So you could be a dummy like me and try to pick winners in college basketball games. Shout out to Pitt for ending Virginia's 23-game home winning streak. Like, I'm over here just trying to pick home teams. I'm trying to be safe over here, right? Or be like Josh, get a little scratch off action and make yourself some money. So congrats to you, because I know in real life you had a Taylor ticket as well. So that was good.
Yeah, it was a good week. I'm kind of turning into you, where the money is whatever,
right?
The being right, just feels better. And like validating the system, or whatever I call how I pick these things, it's like, it's good when it comes through.
And it does feel good.
Yeah, and it makes me want to do it again and again and again.
Okay, I like that. So Bennett Johnson is joining us. He's going to add some winners. He's going to add some top 20 plays for us this week. They're at Genesis Invitational at Riviera. Tiger Woods is playing. He's got his new clothing brand. I guess that's the big news for Tiger. To me, I feel like there's some PTSD here. This is the last tournament he played in while he was fully healthy, as we know him before the accident had kind of mangled him to the point where we know of him now. So I would love to come up with some sort of Tiger prop for there's no cut, so you can't really bet on him to make a cut. There are different sites that will offer, they'll probably post his score and then make you bet over under. This is a par 71 without direct access to that number right now. I would guess they'll probably post it at 70 would be my guess.
I just saw DraftKings had a 70.5 over
70.5. That makes sense.
First round.
And I would definitely take the first round under. But as we've seen with Tiger and his fatigue, his second round with the leg and everything else, even as much as he knows this course like the back of his hand, I would not take him in the second round of this event. That's for sure.
He shot 69 opening round last year.
Yeah, I would.
Remember last year, I just watched the highlights. He was playing with Rory and Justin Thomas last year, and Tiger got hot and birdied the last 3 holes, and Rory played really well. Justin played not well, but it just reminded me. I was watching the highlights of the last 3 holes where Tiger went 3 under. He bombed drives, and I was like, hey, you can play a slap fade here and compete. And I'm like, hey, so you'll hear about my Tiger prop shortly.
Okay. We will get to it. Before we get into this, though, Josh Goodson, like I said, great with first round leader picks, great with RTP Mortgage. You can reach out to him, rtpmortgage.com, or you can call him. Even better, 252-361-1415. Josh, I know the market is coming in the right direction. The numbers are moving in our direction. Some people might think, well, first-time buyers in particular might not know what they can afford.
Sure.
Most important part of that is to reach out to you and get that first step in the books, even if you're thinking of moving during the summer, right?
Yeah. The most common myths or misconceptions are, I need this down payment. I need to put this much down, or, oh, my credit is this, and obviously I can't afford a house because of it. And usually a lot of these conversations are pretty easy for me, because it's like, no, you can't afford one with only putting 3% down. No, you can get a house with only a 700 credit score, which some people think is a bad score, right? So a lot of myths out there. Call me. I love talking to first-time home buyers and working with a lot right now. And the best time to buy is always yesterday, because prices aren't going anywhere, is what I'm telling everybody. So if you're motivated to get in the market, you need to go ahead and do it. And we can talk about the financing piece of it.
All right. So rtpmortgage.com. Josh Goodson is your man for that. And we will get to We are officially on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Bennett Johnson, what's going on with Heister? I know you need to get off your keister and get down to Heister, but I wasn't now 2 weeks ago. I sold my car to you, my used car. I didn't know that you guys bought used cars, but I reached out and I said, "Hey, do you guys buy used cars?" You're like, "Absolutely, that's a thing we do." So it's not just going and buying cars, although that is your specialty, but you guys kind of take care of everything over there at the Heister Automotive Group.
Yeah, no, we did. And Josh, you know what? I should have mentioned this last week, but Josh helped me with my mortgage twice. I'm a two-time Josh mortgage guy.
Yeah, we sold my dad's truck.
Yes.
Back to Heister.
Okay.
He did. There's a red Silverado, wasn't it?
The red Silverado.
Silverado.
All this synergy going on right now.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So, no, like Josh said, the market is really good right now. In fact, we're actually we've sold twice as many cars this February as last February. And it's because prices have come down in car dealership world. So things are trending in the right direction. Rates are trending in the right direction. If you've been sitting on the sidelines like, I don't know, now is definitely the time to do it. It's February, March, you're getting that tax return back. Go ahead and make a good investment. You're getting a better price today than you would have got yesterday. So everything in dealership world is headed in the right direction. And we can bring cars to you, like both Josh and Joe just said. If you can't get to us, we can come to you.
Is it a myth, Bennett, that you'll get a better rate at this time of the year on 2023 inventory since you are moving ahead with the 2024, or is that a real thing?
Yes and no. So it is.
I mean, I'm just asking because there's like this generalization, like, oh yeah, this is the time to buy a car because you just get it 2023.
Well, what I'll say for us is we always price at MSRP or below MSRP. A lot of dealers in the last 3 or 4 years have sold cars above MSRP. We've never done that. We've always given the fair price. We'll show you the invoice. You come in and say, hey, how much did it cost you to buy this car? We'll show you. We have no problem showing you the invoice. We'll show you the MSRP. So we try to do it as fair as possible. Manufacturers do price down the 23 models to sell them. We'll show you, hey, yesterday it was $5,000 more expensive than it is today. We got no problem, showing you invoices and being truly transparent about our pricing.
And the best way to find you guys, Heister.
HeisterAuto.com. You can also call my cell phone. It's this number right here, 919-524-3348. We can get you set up with a salesperson, come out to your house. If you want to meet us, we're happy to do that too.
Great deal. All right, now let's get to some winners. Since you hit the winner last week, Josh, let's try to do it again.
Yep.
And we explained to people first round leader bets. This is strictly on the first round.
Mm-hmm.
The number of people who are tied for the lead, that's what your bet is paid out as. So last week, Nick Taylor, solo leader, ends up being a big return at plus 2,200. What you do in general is, I think you had 12 last week, but this is a smaller field. So I'm going to pull up the picks. But basically what you're doing is you're taking a group of players at exceptional value and you're putting $25 on each person. If you're new to gambling, plus 7,300 on Tom Hoagie there, and your first pick means if you put $100 on that, you would win $7,300.
It's
pretty good.
I need to start doing this.
Now,
No.
You may not have $800 laying around as a layout, but you could have $200, which is a quarter of that. So let's go through this now. This is first round leader picks for the Genesis Invitational. They're out at Riviera, par 71. You're going to hear me say this a lot this week. This is a ball strikers haven out in Los Angeles. So what do we have for Thursday's first round leader bets?
Yeah, I've got 9 this week. Smaller field. So I think there's only 73 guys playing. So it's a signature event. That kind of went into some of my picks because Nick Taylor last week was 85-1 or something like that. And I think he's actually playing this week. His number this week is probably not that different. But he would in theory have to beat half the amount of golfers, right? It's just kind of coming down to you only now have to beat 72 golfers instead of having to beat 140 golfers like someone did last week. So the values, in my opinion, are a little inflated for some of the guys on the high end. I'm going to start with Tom Hoagie, 73-1. He played well last week. He's played well here before. First round, all I care about is guys who make birdies. And there's no stress involved, anything like that. So Tom Hoagie's my first play. Adam Hadwin, Canadian.
We need a sounder for the Canadian.
63-1. His buddy Nick Taylor won last week. Little inspiration, but he also played well here last year. I think he finished top. He had a low first round last year at Genesis. Matt Kuchar, 80-1. 80-1's pretty steep given you only have to beat 70 guys.
Old guy.
He's an old guy.
Like the old guys.
He shot 66 here last year in the first round. Last year, John Rahm was the first round leader. I think it was at 63 or 64. So we can kind of.
Rahm won last year was Mitchell and the homie.
Excuse me. Mitchell was, that's right. Mitchell was the first.
Keith Mitchell and Max Homa were your first round leaders last year.
Charlie Hoffman.
Just last week.
Where the hell is Charlie Hoffman? He kind of fits in. I usually don't go after a guy who kind of got his heart ripped out. Charlie's an old dude. He's been around the block before. And I couldn't pass up this number. He's playing well. He's seeing the ball go in the cup. That stuff like that matters. He's 85-1 this week. That's pretty steep for a guy who just got done making a whole lot of birdies last week. Hopefully he can come out, keep the back warm. He's not having to play. Maybe he's hit one of the later tee times. We'll have Charlie Hoffman. Next one is Harold Harris English, 63-1. Played well there last year. Shot 2 rounds in the mid 60s. Course knowledge. Also played well last week in Phoenix. Finished in the top 10, so he's feeling good. Here's 3 that usually I don't dip this low on the value.
Yeah.
But because of the simple fact they're only have to beat 70 guys, I couldn't really pass them up. Wyndham Clark. He's now what, top 5, top 10 in the world?
Top 10.
He's 42-1. $25, $1,000. He's already had a round this year. What was it in Pebble? He shot 60 or something like that. Played well last week. I can't pass up 42-1. Just for perspective, for people to know what that has related to others. The Scotties, the Rorys of the world, they're like 9 or 10-1.
Sure.
So it's purely you're going to give me the top 5 golfer at 42-1 to go out and shoot 64 in. I'm going to take it.
Also played well in California.
Plays well in California.
Yes.
Kurt Kitayama, 59-1. Played well there last year. Also played well last week. I think he may have even had the lowest round
other than Taylor
on Sunday. So coming in feeling good, but also coming in feeling good and didn't really win. But he just has good momentum. And the last one. Rarely will I take one this low, but it kind of goes back to the same. Only have to beat 72 golfers. Playing well. Played well here last year. Cam Young, 38-1. I rarely dip under that 40-1 number, but he's a guy that has top 10 level talent. And if you tell me I can get 38-1 that he's going to go shoot 65 and be the first round leader, I'm going to take those odds every time. So 9, I think that ended up being 9 guys this week.
Yeah, 9 guys again, $25 on each. We'll let Bennett answer the phone because work doesn't stop, man. It does not stop for the OG Gambling Syndicate at all. So you got 9 picks, $25 each. We're still rolling from last week with the plus 2,200.
I've got basically 6 tourneys in the bank now, in theory.
Well, let's hope we can keep adding to it. Let's hope we can keep adding to it. So again, write all those down. You have all those. Use those. Interesting to me. I talk about this being a ball strikers course, and I got to tell you, I really started following golf in the pandemic in 20. Really started gambling on golf in the pandemic. Adam Scott wins it that year. And I just remember watching this one early in the morning, and the tree lines and everything is a very, very tight course. And it's left to right. It is you know. So on surface, I don't love Wyndham Clark and Cameron Young because they're bombers.
Sure.
Right. I do think there is something to guys who play well in certain parts of the country. You'll never knock me off of that. You'll never be able to knock me off
parts of the country. Greens,
certain courses, certain types of greens.
They don't call them Bermuda Burns for nothing. Like Sam Burns is a Bermuda green guy. So
yeah. So to me, this is a ball striker's paradise. So I love, and I love Harry English on that front. I love Hoagie. I think you're right. Plays well early, and then Cooch, an old guy and an Asian guy. You got to have them. We have the Canadian, we have the old guy, we have the Asian guy right in a row there in Hadwin, Kuchar, and you. So I love the sprinkle.
I don't know if I said you. Kevin Yu's 90-1, but yes, he's on my list as well.
It's a great sprinkle. So I love all of those things. And again, we will try to hit another one of those. I love it when I use the plural we, the royal we. Good. Yeah. And when by we, I mean Goodson.
Josh, you didn't send me the Venmo from our big win last week.
I know. It was good to send out the folks.
You got to have the text. So you really don't believe in jinxing anything. It's really remarkable. Just to tell a little bit of a backstory. So you'll send out a text like way in advance.
Early.
I'm going to win this thing. And meanwhile, my pick last week to win was Sahith Tagala. Tagala. And then he was playing really well. And all of a sudden, I send out a text that he then all of a sudden triples 15. And Goodson's like, it is uncanny. Your ability, your timing
to mush your own plays,
to just be a cooler is just unbelievable.
Can you please bet on Clemson Saturday night in Death Valley against NC State? Please.
You know I don't bet on or against NC State. I have been scarred for life. All right, so let's get into some top 20s for the Genesis Invitational. Again, this is one of those elevated events for the PGA. Smaller field, no cut event. And I'm gonna start with one that might upset you. And maybe I'm not. I promise you, I'm not jinxing him. Ben Griffin, Tar Heel, has started this season early. Well, he's played well early. You talk about a guy. This is no pressure event for him. This is an elevated event. Means it's a larger purse. This is a guy trying not only to get in the top 75 to make sure he gets into all those events, but this is also a guy trying to make some money.
Yes,
he's a young guy. I like his motivation. I like a pressure free. I think he's a smaller guy, a little bit more in that ball striker category. He's plus 360. It's really hard to find value this week in top 20, top 10 bets. So I'm not even putting the top 10s on the board this week, just the top 20. So my first pick is a Tar Heel. It's Ben Griffin plus 360. Let's go with you, Bennett, for your first top 20 pick.
Same thing. This week is really hard because there's not a lot of players. All the players that are in the field are guys that if you just showed up to a typical tour event, they're going to be the names that you're like, oh yeah, that guy could win. So you're trying to find value. And I actually go all the way down into a minus 125 pick. And that's my first top 20 is Max Homa. This course, I'm going to keep running through random strokes gained stats that I always have. But the most important piece of this tournament is experience there. You talked about playing in the same state. People seem comfortable in this course. You're either comfortable here or you're not. It's a very strange course, very different than a lot of other tour courses. And according to DataGolf, which I thought this was interesting, it's the second most predictable tournament on tour. So your experience there in the past pays dividends forward. And Max Homa, he finished second there last year. It's a minus 125. You're thinking, if this doesn't hit, you're shocked. Like, he got injured. He fell off. He rolled an ankle. He had a bad draw with weather. I checked weather. Everything looks good. The other thing I will say, you joked about one of the older guys in their back. I looked at that this week too, because there's only 72 players. The tee times are really compressed. So you won't have the issue of like, oh, I had to start at 8 a.m. and I had fog. But then my buddy started at 3. He didn't have fog. He had warmer weather. Everyone's basically starting local time within like a 2-hour tight window. So if you're 12 one day, you're 2 the next. And if you're 2 one day, you're 12 the next. So I think it will eliminate some of the bad, because you can get bad weather draws out west. So I think that'll take that out. Homa, he's a ball striker. He knows how to play the iron game. So I think, with only 70 players, too, but sure, he can beat 50 guys. It's just a super, super value play.
He's also said this is his favorite
course. Yeah.
Like that stuff like that matters.
He had up until last year, he had 6 career PGA wins, and 5 of them were in California, and then the one at Wells Fargo down in Charlotte. So your first top 20, Josh.
Last year, this guy finished top 20. I went and just looked for value. It was really hard. I didn't want to do the easy way out like Bennett and just take take a layup and such. So I'm still shooting, trying to shoot from 3, shoot from deep. Adam Svensson, top 20 last year, played well there last year. He's plus 250. That's my first play. Not much other than he just played well there.
And I also should mention, when we do top 20 picks and to pick to win, we're going to risk 100.
Sure.
In the case of Bennett, he'd have to risk 125 to win the 100 back. That's what that minus juice means if you're new to gambling. Svensson. All right. All right.
You want to snake it? You want to snake?
Yeah. Let's snake it. Go ahead.
Right. My last top 20 is Harry English.
Okay.
Top 20 last year. Played well last week. Ball striker. Yep. And I think it's pretty good value given what the odds boards look like. Plus 207 is what he is. Okay. Bennett, yours?
Yep. Tony Finau's next. We're in plus territory. Plus 105. So Josh can't make fun of me anymore. Finau, he finished second there in 2021. He's played there 8 years in a row. His average finish is 40, but the only reason is he actually had an injury year where he finished dead last with Drew. And then the year before that, he finished dead last on his own ball, but ever since then he's finished in the top 20.
Nice.
So 6 years in a row of top 20 finishes. Tony Finau, he is an iron player. I'll talk about the slap fade, but he's the traditional slap fade player. He just literally aims it left, lets it hit it right, turn it right, and you can play that shot. I think there's only like 3 holes you really can't play a slap fade in Riviera. So I think again.
I'm already laughing because you guys are about to laugh at me.
Oh no.
The golfer I'm married to, the golfer who I just can't freaking quit. I hate Virginia so much that they love to hate me back. But D-Mac, Denny McCarthy, I can't quit him. He's a ball striker. This course is a ball striking course. When I think par 71, par 70, those are the type of players I think of. I really should take Russell Henley here. Yeah. I really should, because he plays well out in Cali and he's a similar type player. But I can't quit Denny McCarthy. Plus 210. That's my final top 20 pick. All right. I want winners, and because I want to be able to hear.
Shit, be happy we won.
Shit, man. Be happy we won. Thank you, Dave Doran. Let's go with now winners.
Okay.
And speaking of people that you can't quit,
okay,
Josh Goodson, my first pick on this one is going to be Tommy Fleetwood.
Ooh.
Ball striker, iron player, tight. I love the tight lies here. Now, doesn't have a great track record here, so I'm going against what Bennett had said is the smart play. Tommy Fleetwood won in Dubai, so I think it's still not a PGA Tour win, but it was a elevated field. I think he, and plus at Pebble Beach, he went 69, 72, 68 in 3 rounds out there. I like Fleetwood this week. It's actually a decent number too at plus 3,500. So I'm taking one of your favorites here. Not a Cali guy, not even an American. But I like Tommy Fleetwood this week. My first pick.
Tommy's one of my. He's definitely one of my shooters.
How old is Tommy Fleetwood? Look that up while Josh is going. I'll tell you why that's important.
You got it.
My first winner play. Guy played well last week. Plays well in Cali. He can get hot. I feel like young, hungry, all those things, and the value's good. 35-1 Sahith Theegala.
Oh, okay. So you're also going on the Giglio's usually a week early train, because I had Tiggy last week out in Arizona.
He plays well, and that dude can strike the hell out of it. What was it, Thursday or Friday? I forget which day it was. I mean, dude was just lasers.
He was balling.
He finished 6th there last year too. He plays well there.
Yeah, he's also a guy who plays well in California. Tommy Fleetwood's 33, Bennett.
Okay, good. I'll tell you why that's important. It's good.
Go ahead.
Floor to me. First winner. This is a guy that I can't get. I rode him last year. I'm doing it again. I can already tell this is the beginning of me picking him probably 10 times the rest of the year.
Oh, God.
Victor Hovland.
Oh, yeah. My boy.
If just on a straight up course, I think he is the best pure iron player in the world. It's just so straight. He's plus 1,600, which I think is a little bit of an indication that he just, number one, hasn't been playing great, and he hasn't been playing a lot. Since the end of the real tour season in August, you really haven't seen a lot of Victor. He did the race to Dubai thing, but it was really kind of irrelevant. So I think Victor can win here. He is not someone that's actually finished top 3, which is usually I like to pick winners that have almost won in that event before. But I was going to tell you one thing on Victor is last year he was number 1 in 3 different stroke chain categories at the Genesis. This will be the year he turns it on, makes some putts, wins, plus 1,600.
I like it.
I don't hate that. I looked at Victor and I kind of wanted a bigger number.
Yeah,
because he just hasn't played in a while, and he hasn't. I wanted something like 25-1, but that kind of shows what you were talking about, Bennett. Like, he's one of the best players on the planet.
So Scotty Scheffler is your favorite, 7-1. Those are stupid odds. Rory is 10-1, which is actually really good value for Rory. And then Hovland and the X-Man are both 16-1. So. Again, you're talking about ball strikers. This is a ball striker course. Victor Hovland on the near, if not the top of that list, very near the top of that list. So let's go to Josh for your second pick.
I don't know what number you have on him. What do you have on Justin Thomas? What's showing on yours?
We have a shared pick. Then, 18-1. Yeah, JT.
So I actually didn't love that number. I was hoping it would be like 25-30, because Sahith and JT being 18-1 to 35-1 doesn't sound like it should be, but you know, I don't make the odds, right? You have to kind of I can't go to the book and say, hey, I would take this, but I need it at 25-1. There's a reason why the odds are what they are. And I think the reason is he's trending. He hasn't put it there yet. We did not talk about this before.
No, we didn't.
We had no clue. He's trending. I like the fact that there's only 70 guys you got to beat. I mean, I think there's some value to that. I could see this is going to be the week. There's not going to be 100-1 guy go out and run away with this thing. I don't believe from an outright standpoint. Plays well, ball striker. For the most part, he's playing with Tiger.
Oh no, we never win when we have the same guy.
Yeah, I don't worry about stuff like that though. That's a you thing. But JT's my other winner pick at 18-1.
Yeah, obviously that's mine as well. A few stats here. First of all, I think Justin Thomas was embarrassed by missing the FedEx playoff last year. I think he has rededicated whatever he can to making sure that doesn't happen again. And you could see that right away. His 3 starts this year, 3rd, 6th, 12th. He's played 11 rounds on the PGA Tour this year. 10 of those 11 rounds have been 69 or better. I say ball striker. If Justin Thomas isn't one of the first golfers that jumps to your brain, then you don't follow golf. So 18,
I watched a lot of him last week, and he just didn't make hardly that many putts on Saturday or Sunday. And it's
the only thing that worries me about him, and I think why that number is at 18. Everyone knows he's probably Tiger's best friend on the tour. He's the guy who plays with him every year. You know, him and his dad, and they have a relationship there. And I think he becomes the proxy, the avatar for Tiger in these types of events, and people want to see him do well. And I think there is some of that public sentiment money pushing his number down. But to your point, the way that he's playing and the way that he's trending, and he hasn't won there, which surprises me. He did finish 2nd in 19. So I like JT. Who's your second pick there, Bennett?
I'm really glad I didn't pick Justin, because that would have been very suspicious. The only reason I did not pick him is because the first 2 days he's with Tiger. I just think, you know, I don't have some really good strokes gained stat to tell you, but I do think there is something that goes along with playing with Tiger where I don't know if it's added pressure, if it's the bigger gallery, if it's, you know, you have the TV camera laying on the ground behind every shot. But I do think it is more difficult, even for the top tour players, even the Rorys, the Justins, Jordans, Scotty, to play with Tiger. I do think it is difficult. So that's the only reason I didn't pick him, because I was like, hey, if he's 5 or 6 shots back going in on Saturday, even if he's playing well, can you make up the difference? So I'm going to read you a couple interesting stats. I'll tell you why Tommy Fleetwood's age was important.
Okay.
14 of the last 16 winners in this event have had at least 3 tour wins. 14 of 16. 16 of 18 had played in the 4 previous Genesis Opens. So I hope your guys match these so far. 14 of 17 played at both Pebble Beach and Scottsdale same year. Kind of goes with what both of you like. You like someone that's trending up. They haven't been sitting on the couch and they just show up to play. The last 2 I think are fascinating. 14 of 16 were aged 29 or older. So how old is Justin? He's 31.
My age? No, he's younger than me.
Yeah, him and Speed.
He was born in 93. He's my brother's age.
30.
I'm 30. Yeah. So I thought we were the same age. Yeah. Okay. So that checks that box for him.
He was so young.
And then this is a big number. 29 out of the last 30 winners, 29 of the last 30 have finished 22nd or better at the previous Masters. So you pretty much have to.
I need this energy every week from you, Bennett. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I need this on the Puerto Rico Open week, Punta Cana, whatever. Like I love stuff like this.
Look, you send this link out. There's going to be, I don't know, 100 golf podcasts across. No one has that stat. No one has that stat. And so my winner that I think he's going to win this week. You've already said his name. The only category he does not match is he's not over 29 years old. Cameron Young. He's plus 4,000. He almost won there last year. He lost to John Rahm on a very competitive Sunday last year. He's played in this event a lot. He's obviously a ball striker. Last year he was strokes gained, leader in strokes gained, putting, approach, off the tee, which is really good for him. Especially, I think off the tee number on a short course sometimes doesn't get the respect, but you have to be gaining strokes off the tee because everyone's gaining strokes approach. So how are you going to differentiate yourself? So if you can get off the tee box well, plus 4,000 for Cam Young, I don't think it's not a super low number. I mean, I think there's at least a little bit of value there. The only problem is he's only 26 years old. So if he was 3 years older, it was a slam dunk.
Taking out the personalities of it, Cam Young is giving me big Brooks Koepka before he won.
Yeah.
Like his numbers, he just gives me that, hits the hell out of the ball. And like when he wins, he is going to rattle off, when, because I think Brooks started out, didn't Brooks win a Waste Management? And that kind of kicked him, then it's like, oh, I'm going to now win every major and like finish top 5 and everything. And like Cam Young gives me that. And you can still find a good number. 40-1 is great, I think, for the caliber of golfer that he is. And the only reason it is 40-1 is because he hasn't won anything yet. Right. So I like that play.
I'm going to spring this on you guys because I had been thinking about it. And since you just mentioned Cam Young, it's going to lead to my pick. But I'm in a one and done pool.
Okay.
And if you're not from, there are a lot of people who do this where each week you get to pick a new golfer.
Survivor type.
It's a survivor type, but you still get the pick as the year goes along. You don't have to have somebody make a cut, but you get the money that they earn, you earn.
Sure.
And obviously part of the strategy is you need to save. Live is a thing now, but like you wouldn't take John Rahm in Torrey Pines, even though he loves to play there.
Right.
Because you need him in a major.
Sure.
Right. So you have to, there's some strategy there of who you take when you take them. So I did take Sahith Theegala last week. It's fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
Right. This week, the golfer I'm going to take for one and done, and I'll improvise here a little bit to give you guys a chance to maybe pick somebody who would fall under the category that would help somebody in a one and done pool. My pick for this week in the one and done is Will Zalatoris, Cameron Young's teammate at Wake Forest. He is a ball striker. He is coming, and he's played well here before. He also does happen to play well at Augusta, Bennett, in the end, but doesn't have the age going for him. But I'll say this, his back last year really derailed his season. You guys, you think I have a love affair for Denny McCarthy. You know nothing like my love for Will Zalatoris. And I cannot get enough of him. I am rooting for him. Love the way that he plays. He cannot putt inside of 10 feet to save his life. So he is my spirit animal. Other than being 120 pounds, I can't get enough of him. And the value is there this week, even if you weren't in a one and done type of pool, because of the way that he has played. He has not played well. He's trying to get things back. This feels like one of those events. I'm reminded of, I won a bet on this tournament in 22, a pre-flop bet on Joaquin Neiman, another guy who Josh knows that I can't get enough of. So I love Zally this week as a one and done pick. Josh, did I give you enough time to come up with a one and done pick that could help somebody this week?
Yeah, I'm actually in one of these as well with a buddy of mine. We decided to split the entry, and we have decided, I'm pulling up our email, our text together right now. We've put Adam Scott.
Oh, guy who's won. Yeah, you could. It's okay. You could take him.
Played well last week.
Yeah,
and your goal is, and
he won here in 20.
Well, especially the signature events, the purses are crazy. So
these are the kind of weeks you do have to get somebody.
There's no cuts, so you do need a guy that's going to be. I mean, obviously you want him to win, but top 10s go a long way this week. Like a top 10 purse this week might be the same as picking a second place guy last week or something like that. So Adam Scott, I think, is who we ended up going for. Can't putt worth a crap either, but
my guy.
But he's going to be there likely because he always is at this tournament.
Ben, it's okay if that's your
I'll give my Adam Scott reason, then I'll throw in a bonus one of who would be my backup. The reason I was thinking Adam Scott is all of those cool statistics I gave about the significance of this event and how you win it. That Adam Scott fits all of those categories as to someone that would win here, and he's played. I think this might be his 15th time in this tournament, so he knows the course. He's played here a lot. And the other thing, like you just mentioned, this is a big purse. I think the winner's share is probably 8 million, 7.5 million maybe. So if you're playing in that type of strategy, you want someone that is used to playing in a big event, winning that kind of money. But at the same time, you don't want to burn Scotty. You don't want to burn someone like that you're going to need later in the year. The second guy I would have said is Colin Morikawa. Probably not a guy I'm going to be hammering a lot of money on in the majors this year. Obviously, he is a big-time player, but he's someone that plays really well in California. He's played here a bunch. He's finished second twice. So if you want someone that's used to playing for big dollars, that could be him.
All right. It's going to do it for us. Hopefully you follow us. All of your podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, the Googles, you name it. And again, you need some RTB mortgage help, rtbmortgage.com. Find Josh Goodson. You need a car. Maybe you want to sell your car. Seriously, check them out. HeasterAuto.com. Bennett Johnson at the Heaster Automotive Group. Appreciate you guys. Let's hope we do it again. Let's hit another one of those scratch offs. We'll see you next week right here on the OG Gambling Syndicate.